Yo, Richard E. Moss, Yonemeyer. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good night, good evening, wherever you are. I want to talk about forgiveness in this video. So I recently forgave my parents. I had to forgive them because I had anger and resentment towards them. And I strongly suggest if you have anger, if you have hatred in your heart, if you find yourself just getting you snap, or you get riled up, or you just blow up sometimes, you have a temper, it's because you have hatred in your heart. And if you have hatred, it's because you have resentment. You have resentment towards someone, and you not addressing that to that person and forgiving them, is why you have anger, because you resent yourself for not stepping up, or for not standing up for yourself and telling that person that you forgive them for whatever wrong they did to you. That's why you have anger. You feel what I'm saying? And for you to have a peaceful life, for you to know God, for you to be God's child again and be reborn as God's child, because not all of us are God's children. We are born in sin. We are born in sin. I don't care if your parents are married or not, but we are born in sin into this world that we come into. Unless you have like a God-fearing, a God-respecting, a God-loving father that has his wife following him, he should be the head over his wife. If he's the God-fearing, if Christ is in him, and his wife follows him, he can't follow his wife. There's no partnership. It's only man over woman over children. If she follows the man and he follows Christ, that's the only time you can have where you don't have to worry about the child. You don't have to worry about anger or resentment, because the dad's being led by Christ. Christ is being led by God. So who's going to misdirect them? The order is God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, women over children, right? So if he's following God, if he's following Christ, Christ will not steer him wrong, because God will not steer Christ wrong. You feel what I'm saying? And so if the wife is following a man that's following Christ, she can't be steered wrong. And if the children follow the wife of the man that follows Christ, the children can't be steered wrong. You feel what I'm saying? What's happening nowadays is that we have weak men. We have men that have fallen away from God because of their upbringing, which is no fault of their own. But after they get to a certain age, they need to realize that the things that's going wrong is not just social problems. It's not just behavioral problems. It's lacking God in your life. Everyone should have that awakening. You feel what I'm saying? So there's been a huge defect from that. It's been a huge defect from God over the years. It's been kind of systemically planned that way to get people away from God. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to have peace, if you want to get rid of that anger and that temperament and that resentment, that hatred, all that, you have to forgive. And you have to forgive in order for you to get God's forgiveness, and that way you can return to him. You feel what I'm saying? It's not as hard as it seems, but maybe it is, because me going to my parents, it was kind of difficult. I mean, they made it easier because in the times where the time that I did go to apologize, or not apologize, but I did go to forgive them, it was warranted. It was something that they did, and I was like, you know what? Because I have it in me now to know that I need to forgive. I was like, you know what? I'll forgive you. You feel what I'm saying? Because I knew once it was in me to forgive, when the next opportunity presented itself, I forgave. You feel what I'm saying? And I didn't have any more fear after that. I didn't have any more anger or resentment after that. If anything, I tried to talk to my pops, and I was like, yo, you got to forgive too. You got to forgive your folk. You got to forgive your parents. Because the same way y'all made mistakes, which I don't know any parent that will honestly admit that they made a mistake. If your parents do admit that they made a mistake with you, then you are blessed. You feel what I'm saying? They're honest people. But if you have more stubborn parents that don't want to admit it, that they did wrong, just forgive them. And that's okay. You don't need them to say I did wrong. You just need to forgive them. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I was saying, with mine, it was a difficult situation. So I just had to forgive them. But I try to tell them, I was like, yo, you got to forgive your parents. That way you have forgiveness in your heart, because I can still sense that they have anger. My folks still have anger. You feel what I'm saying? They still have resentment. So that means they never forgave the people that put that into their hearts to begin with, and that's their parents. Because nobody else would have put that in their hearts. It might have been an uncle if the uncle was in the house as they were growing up, but it starts in the home. It's gonna be either the parents, the uncles, the aunties, whoever is in that home that's as you're being raised up, who you need to go forgive, because they're the ones that likely put that resentment, that anger, that hatred into your heart. And so I try to tell my pops. I know for a fact my mom is not gonna listen. You feel what I'm saying? I know I try to go talk to her about her anger. I went one day and I said, Mom, I tried to talk to her. This is before she evicted me, which it happens. Like stuff like that happens in life. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a blessing in disguise, really, to get evicted, because that means you can't suckle on your parents' teeth anymore. You're not gonna get babied anymore. I can finally go out there in the world and be a man, and I have no excuses, no more chances to go back to the family and make excuses for myself. It's over. So it's a blessing that now I get to go and be a man. And then these are kind of blessings that God will put into your life once you accept them. You feel what I'm saying? This happened probably only 3 weeks after me really accepting God again. 3 or 4 weeks after me accepting God. And forgiving my parents. This blessing came towards me. You feel what I'm saying? Through the guise of this eviction. That's a blessing. Now I have no excuse but to go out there and get on my own and be on my own. But follow through God, because God is gonna lead my way. He's gonna lead my path. And if I had never forgiven my folks, I probably would have never gotten this blessing. You feel what I'm saying? Because after I forgave them, I was able to stand up to them. I'm not saying I was going there being combative. I'm not, no. Because I know after I forgave, I know for a fact that being competitive, and that's not what you want to do at all. You want to just forgive, but you want to have authority and you want to stand up for yourself. So had I not forgiven, I wouldn't have been able to stand up for myself, because then I still would have had the anger and the fear of them. You feel what I'm saying? If I never forgive them, I still would have had the anger and fear. You feel what I'm saying? And so it wouldn't have led up to this blessing here. And blessings like that, you gotta see. I mean, I could have saw it as, oh, woe is me, but no. Once you follow God and God is in your life, you'll start seeing things differently. I've heard this before, that you do see things differently, but I didn't realize just how real that is. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing things differently. You really do. You look at life completely differently. You don't listen to the thoughts in your head, because you know that those thoughts in your head are that of the devil. God reveals things to you. He don't talk to you in your head. So I'm starting to see things differently. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So these things are from God. What I'm getting revealed to me, it's just from God. But what I get told to be in my head, that's the devil, and I discount every thought in my head. I discount it. I don't even listen to it anymore. It'd be idiotic to listen to what's going on in my head, because I've been listening to what's been going on in my head for many years, and it's never gotten me anywhere. You feel what I'm saying? I start listening to God for 4 weeks, and the biggest blessing to catapult my life and to push my life forward came in 4 weeks through the way of this eviction. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. You just can't. So I beg you, I plead you to forgive your parents, to forgive whoever raised you, whoever you have anger and resentment towards. that's the only way you can get close to God. You feel what I'm saying? Don't listen to the thoughts in your head. Don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. Like, I mean, my parents been good to me. I mean, I don't really feel like I need to. No, if you have anger and you have hatred and you have resentment, they were not perfect. They were because good parents don't make bad children. You feel what I'm saying? If your parents were so good, why did you turn out the way that you have? Whether you want to admit if you're good or not. But if good parent if you have good parents, you'll be a good child. Point blank, point blank. You feel what I'm saying? So if you have anger, if you have resentment, if you have hatred, if you have fear, if you stress, if you worry, forgive. You have to forgive your folks so that God can forgive you, and He'll take away all those things I just named: the fear, the anger, the resentment, the hatred. The worrying, the stress. He'll take it all away, because He'll be with you then. You'll be walking with God from that point on forward, and you can't doubt Him. Don't doubt Him. Don't doubt God. Know that whatever you go through, you have God's blessing, and you can just go powering through that. You don't doubt Him. The devil will try to make you doubt Him. The devil will try to make you doubt Him. Don't doubt Him, because then that's judging. That's judging God. And the only person that can judge is God. We as man, we as people, we cannot judge. You feel what I'm saying? But when you have that anger, you have that resentment, you have that hatred, you'll judge somebody else. Just be ready for when God judges you, because when you judge somebody else, God judges you the same way. You feel what I'm saying? And you'll stop your blessings. Don't judge. Forgive. Don't judge people. Forgive. If you've never gotten the truth from a black man before, from a man, period, before, this is the truth. Don't judge. Forgive. I hope this video finds you well, man. I hope it does. This is the truth. Peace.